girls, young and old, are all going to see the earth.
Hey y'all, it's Becca Hayes and Matt Johnson coming in hot.
Hot. I just got my hair cut, so it is hot.
Ooh, do you want to show the people your haircut?
No.
What? Come on.
I got headphones.
Don't be a pussy.
Next time.
Okay. That being said, do you still have sugar on your feet?
Yeah. Why do I have sugar on my feet?
So Matt and I...
And this is not a fetish
Right.
way. Like, that sounds like a fetish.
It's actually cotton candy sugar. So it's like the really...
Still not a
It's
fetish.
flavored extra sweet.
Oh, okay.
What?
Like, I've actually had, like...
Sugar on your feet before?
No, I've had
What?
guys... I've had people drop into my DMs, like, guys.
Slide in. We say slide, not drop.
Do
I
women...
don't know. Maybe... Is it drop for men?
I don't know.
Because they're like slide into our DMs.
Yeah,
I guess it's
don't
drop
know.
for men.
Drop.
It's for drop.
Okay, wait. First off, do, like...
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there are plenty of men out there who have feet fetishes.
I know a few.
Right? Are there men? Are there women that have feet fetishes? Do women have that?
I don't know if it's called. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they're out there somewhere, but I've never heard like any of my girlfriends talking. Like we've never been like, oh my gosh, his feet is so hot. They just make me want to.
Maybe it's because men don't actually have hot feet.
Well, and that's why. Like usually we will talk about men's feet, but it's all like, does he have nice feet or are they like gross? And it's actually shout out to my best friend Blair. She has a thing for feet, not a fetish, but it's like she always looks at the guy's feet, and she's like, oh my gosh, his feet are fucked up.
Blair, the next time you're here, I'm gonna have you judge my feet.
What defines fucked up feet? It's like when you have those toes that are like talons. It's like they could go fishing. It's like it reminds me of a claw, like an eagle. You know how it swoops down and catches fish out of the lake? Those kind of feet are fucking scary. And I just spit all over my mic. For those of you watching us on the YouTube,
Hi.
You're welcome. How did we even get on this? Oh, yeah, sugar.
I had sugar on my feet. And I said, I don't want you to say that because I've literally had people in my DMs.
Like want to see your feet? Like, Matt,
yeah,
drop your socks. Let me see your feet.
And I never understood like why you women were so offended by it until that moment.
You really have women asking to see your feet for real?
No, it wasn't women. I was trying to.
As a man?
I was trying not to be like. I've had multiple.
Stop it.
No, I really have.
Probably because you have such nice skin and like you're kind of a little bit more feminine looking.
What?
I'm just trying. Listen, don't blame me. I'm just trying to figure out why they would ask you. What? Your soft skin. Look at it. It's very, very nice.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
No, she's not.
Anyways, what?
But like, no, so I understand like why women, at that moment, I understood why women felt violated when guys just like, let me see your feet.
Yeah, right? It's like.
I don't know why. It's just weird. It's uncomfortable.
So abrasive.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I always joked around with it. I was like, man, you women like who have all like these guys being like, show your feet and I'll give you 12 grand.
Yeah, it's just like,
fuck yeah, I will.
Wait, who's giving 12 grand? Can you send them my way, please? What?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, see how we feel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but now I understand why you're kind of abrasive by doing it. Like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, So anyways, I have sugar on my feet. Why?
Well, okay, so just prior to podcasting today, we went down in my basement and the kids love, when I say the kids, his son Tyken, my two boys, Boston and Tucker, and you guys you'll learn about Jacob here in a little bit, but Jacob's son Smith. So they all four play together in my basement, and I'm like, I just tell them, I'm like, hey, stay out of like a certain room in the basement, but everything else is, on limits. On limits? Limits. Yeah. Off limits. No, it's not off limits. On limits?
Good to go.
It's good to go. Everything is good to go. So they come down and play for hours. And I'm like, it's amazing because they're not upstairs. But now, just recently with you, we came down to look for some, extension cords and things like that. And I walk around and I'm like, oh my gosh, Matt. And he's like, what? I said, there's freaking cotton candy, pink sugar everywhere. And then I look at like beyond the spot that I'm looking at. It's covered my treadmill. The belt is completely in pink cotton candy sugar. And I'm like,
She's so mad that her treadmill is covered. And so
yeah.
you say it like you use it.
I do use it. I mean, it's been a hot minute, but normally I use it.
Is it pink sugar or just pink dust? It doesn't really matter at this point.
It's probably a mix. No, I can't believe it. It's going to take me I'm not even going to be able to get all of that out. Like it's under the belt. It's on top of the belt. And then it's like, it's near like my shower drain area in the basement. And then, because people are probably wondering why I have pink sugar down in the basement. I know it sounds pretty sketch, but I have a cotton candy machine because one of my business ideas that failed involved cotton candy machine. So that's why I still have it in my basement.
It's not abundant everywhere you go.
Yeah,
Actually, there was this woman at the farmer's market and she made like cotton candy. It was really good.
See? Fresh cotton candy is the shit. Every kid loves it. I mean,
You just ain't got the cotton candy touch.
I do have the cotton candy touch. I can whip up a mean cotton candy stick, okay? Don't test me. or is this reverse psychology? Do you want me to go plug the machine in and we can get it cooking?
You're out of pink sugar.
Oh, it's true. I just have the blue kind left. No one likes the blue kind.
But you can just like your kids, you can just say, hey, thanks for making me envision me running on a beach.
Oh my gosh, no, that is horrible. No one, and the people the beach runners, no one really likes running on beaches. They're the freaking worst.
It is so much harder.
It's harder and
it hurts your feet.
Right? Like so because it's not consistent. It's swamped. It's got the little like crevices, and then what if you have a sand pit that a kid dug prior to you running? You're gonna like break an ankle. Like it's horrible. Like running on beaches are just horrible.
I remember every time I go and do it, I'm like gonna feel so inspired, like kind of like a Rocky movie,
Well, yeah, in the movies they make it look really appealing.
Yeah. And so like you go, and then all of a sudden you're like running, and you feel like you've been running for so long and so far, and you like are tired. You're like, oh my gosh, that's so good. And you look back, you've gone like 10 feet.
I haven't hit a quarter of a mile. Holy shit, I'm out.
You're not even
right? Yeah, no, I don't believe any of you runners that run on beaches that like actually enjoy it. No, it's horrible. Like I can never get to the runner's high on a beach.
It's like I haven't even left my porch on the
exactly.
The beach.
See, you know what's up. Yeah, so now I'm gonna have to go after this. I'm gonna have to go clean up like probably it looks like a pound of sugar,
it's
maybe
everywhere.
more than that.
And you can't see it on the ground.
Oh yeah, on the treadmill you sure can because it's black. I mean, it's seriously just coated my treadmill. I'm gonna be running on sugar for days.
What was better is that right before we saw it, she was like, your son, I don't think that he's a child. Like, he's like an adult. He's so well-mannered, just so good.
It's
we
true.
Go back there. I was like, you still think that? Because he was part of this.
I'm like, that little shit. I thought I was giving you all these props thinking you're like basically a little adult. Not anymore, Tyken. He's good. He fooled me.
I tried to tell you, like, he does have this sass in him. That,
Yeah. Well.
So.
Anyways, okay, so welcome everybody. We kind of went off on a tangent, but it was necessary, like, for us to workshop this sugar crime, I should say. Actually, it was a crime.
We could start this one off sweet, since it's gonna go a little bitter.
Oh, look at you! I like what you did there. Beautiful. Okay, so most of you that follow me on the Instagram, the Facebook, and everywhere else, you know kind of what I've been going through. And we are going to talk a little bit of politics. Actually, not even really. Like, I'm just going to tell you my experiences or like what's happening to me. We're not getting like deep into politics. I don't think we ever will. But we are going to like talk about what's going on in the world today because it pertains to, and it affects everybody's lives.
Yeah, I think when it comes to you, I think people are, I think you are making a political statement because it involves politics.
Mm-hmm.
But I think more than anything with you, it's more about ethics and how humans treat other humans.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where, a lot of your anger and frustration comes from is just
be a decent human being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I feel like that's more, and it's interesting to watch the comments and what people are saying. They're missing the undertone of that message.
Oh, completely.
Right?
I mean, a lot of people are getting it, and a lot of people feel, I would say majority of those comments are backing me up and feeling the exact same way I'm feeling, and even this has happened to them, exact same places that I've gone.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it's just be a decent human being, and people don't even realize, like, we talk about being divided as a nation. Do your part. Don't be divided. Look how you're treating other people. Why don't you treat them with love and kindness and respect?
Yeah. I think it's like that double-edged sword that we have to talk about. Like when we talk about, are you for masks? Are you against masks?
Mm-hmm.
Are you liberal? Are you Republican? Whatever that is, there's a double-edged sword to everything that we're saying and doing that you have to understand. And a lot of it will come down to how you are treating others, the policies, and not only that, but respecting each other's beliefs is so important right now, even if you don't agree with it. It's important to voice it, but there's a way to voice your opinion. There's a way to voice how you feel without belittling, without being indecent to other people.
Exactly.
So my fear is for people is a lot of people today just don't know how to communicate. I feel like communication is a lost art, and I feel like people really struggle because we are such in a self identity. I don't know what to call it, but basically where we are so focused on self that it's really hard to hear the other side, to hear where the other person is coming from, to be understanding, to have sympathy, compassion, and all of those things for the other side.
You can't even have a decent debate anymore without it turning into arguments and name calling. And I'm like, oh my gosh, some of these comments on my video that I'm going to talk about with you guys in just a moment, but some of them just like so aggressive and so much anger behind it. And it's like, that's a reflection as you as a person. You're projecting how you feel and how you've been treated, and you're doing it on other people.
Yeah, I think that's something that's really, really interesting to me is, and we're going to have multiple conversations about this because it does bring up so many funny stories, but just so many conversations about how social media impacts how people interact with one another. And I'm a person that really loves sociology. I'm a person that really loves like understanding humans and how it all works. And it's really fun, interesting and funny at times to see that and to see people's comments like that. There's a lot of supporting comments on your posts, but then there's just like immediate anger, just immediate like and it blows my mind because they're really missing a lot of underlying things.
Exactly. And even the people that are for mask, there's some people that are for wearing masks, and they can lay out their point of view without getting upset and like saying hurtful things towards me. Like that's called debating. Like you can prove your point in a decent way without tearing that other person down.
Yeah.
So what happened to me, this was like a few weeks ago, maybe a little longer than that now. My oldest son, Boston, is in basketball. His dad actually, we take turns like enrolling them in different sports and such. And obviously his dad and I are not together. We're divorced. And his dad enrolled him into the Legacy Center. And we switch every other weekend. He has the kids, I have the kids. It was my weekend. He had a basketball game at the Legacy Center, and prior to this, they had canceled it for 2 weeks, so no basketball. And we paid for this. Like we split it. We paid for our son to play basketball at the Lehi Legacy Center. No basketball games because Governor Herbert did a mandate order, changed everything. Just kept making things tighter and tighter. And so that changed that. And then all of a sudden, like, okay, the Legacy's back open again for basketball. Well, now they've changed it to, having just your immediate family watch the kids play to one parent per, child that's enrolled, which, already frustrates me because I want to go watch my son play basketball every time. I don't want to miss his basketball games. That's time that I'm never going to get back. Sorry, I'm looking out the window. My dog's just taking the biggest shit right now. It's a golden doodle. He's big, and I know I'll see it. Oh my gosh, Charles, you're so disgusting. Why did he have to do it right there? I have a window that looks out into my backyard. Anyways, gosh,
This button's getting
once upon a time. So, where was I at? My train of thought completely gone. And I know people are obviously arguing the fact, but there's people dying out there. And I'm not saying that, obviously, I don't feel bad for that's happening. But when the statistics are 99.6% survival rate, I'm sorry. If you have a compromised immune system, just stay home. Stay home. Why do you have to make the majority that are asymptomatic or that are not dying of COVID suffer like this? And I say suffer because the suicidal rate is the highest it's ever been, which was in 2020 is the highest it's ever been because of COVID. And the what it's doing to businesses and people losing their jobs, and these businesses will never regain their strength ever again. They'll be out forever.
My whole thing is, what happens if you ruin the economy and then you stay alive and still have to live with a broken economy?
Exactly. Yeah.
Long-term consequences. I'm a person that always looks into long-term consequences because everything has a reaction.
Of course.
And so I often think about that. I think about the economy for my son and his, us as adults and young adults, just trying to break through can be very, very difficult. Our parents have even said, I would not want to grow up in this generation to try to make a living because it's extremely difficult. Now you have to understand all we're doing is amplifying that more for the next generation.
Yeah.
So if you think it's hard right now to earn a buck and to be successful, to kind of get ahead in life right now, just imagine we're creating inflation. Why? Because we're continuing to damage the economy because of what we're having to do over a Band-Aid effect right now.
Exactly.
It's not an easy conversation because, yes, it's human lives, but there's human lives on both sides of the spectrum here.
There's so many other diseases out there. Like, here, let's just throw one out there. Cancer. That's huge. People are dying of cancer. And it's like, if you have cancer, so one person has cancer, so you're going to make everybody wear a mask. Like, it doesn't, it's not logic. Right. And then you have all these people go in these grocery stores that are all close together and with all their families, but then you say, oh, one parent per child and we can't sit together. Yeah. Doesn't make sense. There's no logic in it. Just like an airline. I saw a picture today of people doing 6 feet apart in an airport. Then they board the airline and they're all packed in there like sardines. Yeah. Where's the logic in that? And that's why I'm saying question this logic. It doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah. I think a lot of the logic came from a reactive stance of hurry, let's do whatever we can. It doesn't make any sense. But
no, it doesn't.
It's a lot of reactive, and it's reactive because all logic kind of goes out the door. And not only that, but you're trying to control billions of people, millions of people. You're trying to control all of these people to do one thing. It's literally an impossible thing.
Well, it really honestly and I'm not the smartest person. I never say that I'm a smart person. But I feel like I'm a very logical person. Right. I look and I'm like, okay, this is weird. I'm looking at the facts right here when, the tight mandate to everybody wear a mask goes back into effect. And then the COVID cases rise. And I say cases, I'm not saying death rates. I'm saying cases. Majority of people that test positive are not getting, they're asymptomatic. And that's even if the actual tests are accurate. There's a lot of tests out there that are saying that there's positive COVID tests that people haven't even tested for. Right. Right?
Right.
Are you?
And see, this is why this becomes a difficult conversation is because there's always going to be someone that has a rebuttal to anything you say.
Of course, yeah.
So no matter what we say, no matter what we do, but like right now, you might be upset listening. You might be on the other side.
You might have had someone that died of COVID, or,
you might be saying like, oh, you guys are assholes and sensitive and things like that. And that's not what we are saying. We're just trying to have some logical conversations.
We're looking at it as at a logical viewpoint. That's what we're doing right now.
And you might say that we're wrong. Like, this is why the conversation never goes anywhere. And I try to tell and explain to people, this is why I actually don't have conversations with people. Is because there's always someone ready to fight back with another one, because you're not asking for my understanding. You're not asking for anything. We're not trying to get anywhere. We're just trying to prove that we're right.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
The problem with that is like, this is why it's all about self. It has nothing to do with like the bigger picture. Otherwise we would all see, like we would understand economically, this is really bad. This is what we're doing is really bad. Everyone's excited about these stimulus checks that are coming out. And
blows my mind.
It's extremely bad for a country who is already in debt, because there's no such thing as free money. So there's always going to be a consequence. What does that mean? It means it's coming out of your tax dollars. But guess what? Unemployment is going to go up. You know why? Because minimum wage is going to go up. You know why? Because that's what businesses have to do to stay in business, because of the consequences of everything that's happening. If minimum wage goes up, and I know this is really important if you earn minimum wage, because you might be excited. You might be like, I'm going to get a pay raise. You have to understand what that does to the bottom line. And when the bottom line goes up, so do the prices. You have to understand how the economy works. And the big picture is, if you're going to survive in this pandemic, you're going to suffer the consequences of inflation. Understand that. That's why it's so important that we figure out a better solution for small business owners to run their businesses, not shut them down, not to close out.
Exactly.
We have to figure out logical things, but we're not, because we don't think about those things. If you don't own a business and you just are, well, it's fine. They have to pay me no matter what. Me as a business owner, I'm going to say, no, I don't. You got to get fired because I can't afford to hire you.
Exactly.
You have to think about those long-term consequences. We are all more connected than most people realize, and our lives are dependent on each other. And if we can think like that, we'll work better.
And these governors and big government people that we don't know, the elites or whatever, how is it that their paycheck, they're never skipping a paycheck, and it keeps increasing? That should frustrate you right there.
Yeah, because that's your tax dollars.
We're all suffering, but you keep getting a paycheck and it's increasing by like 20, 40, 50, 60, 70%. What?
Yeah. Actually, there was like this guy on TikTok, and his daughter is interviewing. He's a retired spy. And he said, I actually believe that World War III will be based on a class warfare. And I was like, oh,
you're like something.
Actually, like, yeah, like I can see this happening.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's closer than you think.
Interesting.
And he's like, not many people will survive. I was like, this is all scary, but very, very interesting, sir.
Good to know. I'll put it in my bucket. But sorry to go back and tell you what happened. We kind of got off on a tangent, but I think it was something that pertained to this. So you guys needed to hear what we thought about it. But so basically, yeah. So it was my weekend. I had my boys, and finally Boston got to play basketball again. And they just changed the rule. And it's not even, what do you call them, mandates, which is completely different than a law. Let me just say that. It's not a law, so don't let mandate scare you. They mandate this new rule at the Legacy Center saying only one parent per child. And I'd heard about this like a day or two prior, and I didn't want to go out and like hustle for a babysitter. I probably could have gotten one. I probably could have.
Now you got a list of them.
Well, now I have like, I have babysitters for every day of the week. I don't even ever have to see my kids. Yeah. I said, I need a babysitter. Just kidding. No, I really don't. But I love being with my kids. I don't want to my youngest son, Tucker, he's 4, Boston's 6. Tucker's soon to be 5. They're only like a little over a year apart. Tucker should be able to go with his mom and watch his brother play basketball. Like, those are memories that we will never get back if it doesn't happen.
True.
And his dad works. It's not like I could just take him to his dad's, when he doesn't have the kids, he's working. It's not like it's an easy drop off, and I have no family here either. So I really my support is very small, and that's why I'm like I've committed to doing everything with my kids, which is fine.
And before anyone says, "Well, why didn't Matt watch him?" Let's just set this straight, because once we start crossing those lines, they think that I'm the servant.
Well, they already do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, that's not, even though I am watching your son soon, by the way. So you owe me. Just okay, anyways.
But think about it. If we did have a babysitter now, we wouldn't have cotton candy.
Right? Yeah, it's just true. This is true. And I was upstairs. That says a lot. Anyways, and so we go into the Legacy Center, both my sons, and this is before I didn't like wearing masks, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to respect the facility. If they ask me to wear a mask, I'm going to wear a mask. That was my mentality prior to this. And so I put a mask, not that I even liked it or even thought that there's any logic. I'm like, this sucks. There's no logic behind wearing masks. Even on the box of masks, it says, will not protect you from COVID-19.
Yeah.
Now, right there, it tells you it's not going to protect you. So why are we still wearing masks? Blows my mind. So anyways, it's nice for bad breath. That helps. So, it does do something.
Bad teeth.
Yeah, there you go. That's great.
Sometimes
if you got some acne going on the bottom of your chin, throw a mask on. I mean, it does serve some purposes. It does.
Guys, if you have a beard, I'm really, really sorry because you look ridiculous.
Right? It like puffs it up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it sucks. I would just shave that off if you're going to be wearing a mask all the time.
So small.
Yeah. But
I always think that they miss it. I was like, dude, you missed your face.
But and that should be your choice. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't. Where's our freedom? Where's our choice to choose? Like it's completely being stripped for no logical reason. And so we go in there, we're wearing masks. She checks, she was very nice at the door, this younger girl, checks our temperature. All three of us, we have no temperature. We're wearing a mask. We walk in, okay? And then I get down to the door or the opening of the gymnasium. And there's this older lady there with like shoulder length, like kind of blonde hair. She like, I'm really good at reading people and reading their energy. She already looks like she's pissed off. It's like she already has a chip on her shoulder.
She's already waking up on the
She's
wrong
all ready
side of the
to fight.
She was up there opening the rec center because she has a job and she's pissed off.
I don't know what it is, but I could tell. I could read people the minute I come and start not even talking to you, just standing in front of you. I can already tell if you're going to be
Susan,
an ass or
you got
not.
a paycheck coming up.
It's Karen.
Pay grade.
So Karen was at the door.
As minimum wage raises, you got a paycheck coming up.
There you go. Hey, good. Yay.
You got it.
So Karen was at the door, and I don't know her real name. Just call her Karen. And so she's
I didn't do that. I said Susan.
The first thing she says, not greeting me. I'll be like, hi, thank you so much. Welcome. She's like, one parent per child. And I was like, okay, I'm the parent. And she goes, and then we start to walk in and she stops me and she goes, you can't take your son. And I said, well, I'm a single mom and I don't have anybody else to watch him. And I'm not going to go frantically looking for a babysitter. So if you're having a problem with it, you are more than likely to call the police. And I walked in. Yeah. Ah, shit. For the longest time I said, anyways. So we walked in. I took both my sons that are 4 and 6. And I sat on the bleachers. Tucker sat right next to me. We're still wearing our masks. And Boston, they start playing basketball. Minutes later, she comes over to me and she's standing right in front of me. She brings reinforcement, which is my neighbor's son, actually. And he did recognize me, come to find out. I didn't. I thought he didn't recognize me because the way he just totally did nothing. Not that he's going to jump in and bitch, get out the way. I don't expect that. I don't expect special treatment. But maybe he'd be listen, she's not bothering anybody. Maybe try to talk some sense and have some logic here.
Yeah.
But literally just did nothing but helped her enforce.
If he claimed your child, then you would have been good.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever has to be done.
Whatever has
do
to
something
to get the job done. No, so we're sitting in the bleach. She comes over and she goes, ma'am, you're going to have to leave. I'm sorry. You can't be here. And I was like, I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. And I looked at her and I said that. And then all the parents behind me, they started getting frustrated because you could tell there was so much built up frustration that there's these single parents, and I'm not necessarily saying all of them were single. They were at the time
because divorce rate has gone up since COVID started.
Everything's fucking gone up, down, whatever in 2020.
Everyone's single.
Oh my gosh. But they were one parent stood up. She's like, this is bullshit. I want my money back. I'm canceling my membership. Like they all started like fighting for me. They're like, she's a single mom. Leave her alone. And they're like, she's not bothering us. Now you have a mass of crowd right here behind me saying that we don't have a problem with
even
things.
the governor's son, apparently.
Oh no, not the. Oh yeah, he was there at the Basel.
Remember, he supported you.
Yeah,
never stood up though.
Yeah, he didn't stand up, but he supported me in secretively.
And thank you for Governor Herbert for sending the message. He supports us too.
Yeah, apparently. Oh, by the way, and you know what? We should post that on Instagram, right?
We're gonna get in trouble for this one.
I don't care. Governor Herbert apparently doesn't like all the rules either, but he's mandating them. And he doesn't follow them either. So that's a whole nother story in itself. Right. Thank you. And then I said, I'm not moving. Sorry. I'm not leaving. My son's playing basketball. I'm not bothering anybody. We're both wearing masks. And my son and I are sitting next to each other. We are distant, like at least 6 feet away from everybody else. It's not like we're smudged in there. It's not like there wasn't enough room on these bleachers. There's no way in hell that we're causing any problems or breaking out sickness or anything. If we're following the rules of be 6 feet apart, wear a mask, right? Those are the main rules, right?
Right.
We followed all those. Mm-hmm. Then there shouldn't be a problem according to their logic.
Yeah.
So it blows my mind. And so just real quick to finish this. So then she grabs the basketball from the referee. I kid you not. Karen grabbed the basketball, holding it in her hand. She goes, "Sorry, they're not allowed to play anymore until you leave." So now she's stopping the whole team, all the kids playing if I don't leave.
I picture like recess right now.
It's based, yeah. Right? A bully? Yeah, at recess.
Taking the ball. I've had that happen. So it's just like, I'd be traumatized.
So are you having PTSD right now?
Yeah, I probably would at that moment. Be like, oh.
No. PTSD's
Who did it? Who did it? My playground's ruined.
Yeah, she straight up had the ball in her hand. And I'm just like, and then the parents really started getting pissed. But, and just to let you guys know, I don't know if anybody left after I did. I ended up leaving because I was like, this is getting out of hand. This is freaking ridiculous. I'm not going to I'm done. Like, I don't want to be the cause for everybody else's kids not to play, which maybe I should have stayed.
And what it sounded like when you went.
Basically, play ball. And everybody just sit there and in shock.
Play support.
Right? As a mom, as a parent, it is so hard to take your child out of something that they love. But I had to show them, and I had to prove a point, and I had to show them that mom's not going to stand down. Mom is going to fight for what she believes in and for her rights. Mm-hmm. And that was a big lesson I needed to teach both my boys that day.
Right. And the thing that I find interesting that a lot of people are missing, it had nothing to do with masks.
It didn't.
And on the comments, so people who are, if you are watching this and you're watching her video, if you're like, it's about a mask, wear a mask. It's not. It has nothing
to do. I wore a freaking mask.
And what's interesting is the message that you got from one of Governor Herbert's relatives was...
As it was his daughter-in-law.
Daughter-in-law. Well, I wasn't going to...
She married his son. Yeah, I'm calling her out.
Call her out.
I didn't say her name. I said daughter-in-law.
Daughter-in-law. Hopefully you have more than one. Otherwise it's obvious.
She has blonde hair. Go on.
Well... The message that she sent was from Governor Herbert's mouth, unless she lied, that's the only way we're going to get in trouble for this, unless she lied, but basically saying how Governor Herbert didn't approve of how the Legacy Center handled that. Mm-hmm. He didn't approve of how you were being treated, and there should be something done. P.S. Governor Herbert, you're the one to do something about it.
Yeah.
You're the one to do something about it, not someone.
Exactly. Governor Herbert, if you're watching this, which you probably are, I know you're a big fan of the Becka Hayes show. I totally get it. Totally get it. But if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you can make a difference. You can say, you know what? I'm going to man up and I'm going to revoke these ridiculous, non-logical mandates, and everybody can live their life and the businesses can flourish yet again. And people cannot be scared anymore. You can make a difference, but I know it's probably hard if you get, paid big bucks to be quiet.
True.
You can make a change. You can change this.
Yeah, reading that message from his daughter-in-law, the one thing that I said immediately was, if he said that, if he really said those things and as a leader has done nothing, that shows that you're a coward. Yep. That's where my respect is lost, is where when you're saying someone should do something, it's like, you are that someone. When
we all voted you in.
Yeah.
We all selected you as a governor. Why don't you man up? You have the power right now to change it.
Yeah. So
he could easily change it, or he could even call me or message me on Instagram. I've tagged you in a lot of things, Governor Herbert, so I know you know about me.
Yeah. So in my thing, like, and I train and coach, and I've been through trainings and things like that with leadership. Like, these are the kind of issues. Like, when you see the people that quote unquote follow you, and they're in a dismay, and there is conflict, and there's so many, like, being mistreated and things like that, and you don't do anything, you don't address it. How many views does this video have?
We're almost at 200,000.
Almost at 200,000 on just Instagram.
Yeah, not even counting Facebook's up there too. But
I don't even know how many times we've shared it. So
it's
all of
shared
these things, like, I know that you're seeing these videos and they're happening to your citizens who you are supposed to protect. And just because they're not in guidance with, like, your belief systems doesn't make it right. You can't pull one way. You have to understand, like, as a leader, you have to do more. You have to do more, and you have to be brave enough, and you have to be okay with sometimes, like, maybe I didn't explain this enough. Maybe I didn't give enough clarity to this.
Well, bravery and courage is just literally gone right now.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
It really is. It saddens me so much that people don't understand how to be brave and how to have courage. We're living in fear.
Yeah, there was one podcast that I was listening to, but they were talking to an old vet, like, from Pearl Harbor and things like that. And one of the things he said about this generation is, you guys are just weak.
Yeah.
Just weak. And I totally agree. Like,
me too.
Weak. Like, why are we living in fear? Why are we not fighting back against the government? And I think that's why we're being so candid on this podcast right now.
Yeah.
And why we're not being afraid, because we shouldn't be afraid.
I'm not.
Like, the ones that are supposed to be working for us, like,
they're controlling everything.
Yeah, we should not be in fear of them, right?
We the people, not we the government. Have we forgotten that? Have we forgot that we hold the power, that we are just willingly giving it away? By you wearing these masks, unless you really are just scared and you really want a mask, like, again, that should be your choice. But if you're willingly wearing these masks and you hate that and you don't agree with it, stop wearing the fucking mask. I'm so tired. And I'm sorry, I'm going to get very passionate here in a minute. I'm not angry. I'm just passionate, okay? I'm like, I should have been born in the Italian family, okay?
Well, you guys don't know passion until you get the phone calls at 12 at night just ranting. And I'm
right?
Like, great. We'll talk about this tomorrow.
Well, I just sounded like Woody the Woodpecker when I laughed. No, I am so tired of my friends coming to me, or not just my friends, but random people, whatever, saying, I hate the mask too. I hate doing this, that, the other. And then all of a sudden I see them walking into Costco with the mask on. Guess what? I'm going to tell you my Costco experience here in a minute, but why are you doing that? Why are you following the crowd? Stand up for what you believe in. Have courage. Have bravery. Don't support a corporation that have people harassing you. And that's what it is. It's harassment, harassing you to put a mask on.
Yeah. The biggest thing is, if you are doing things out of fear, that should alone be the scary thought.
Exactly.
I'm just a huge believer of not living a life of fear. I coach clients and I talk to them all the time, and one of the biggest things is anxiety. Why? Because you're taught to live in fear. Fear of what could possibly happen, because you're not equipped with the tools or the knowledge of how to handle problems. Problem-solving skills is really, like, diminished in people today, and they want things to be easy. They want things to be comfortable. They want things immediately.
Well, and the people that are saying, oh, this is just going to eventually, I'm just going to go with it, it's going to eventually just pass over. It's not. It's going to get way worse than it is now. And guess what? We have the chance. We, the people, have the opportunity to stop this, to speak up, and to take our power back, because we've willingly given our power completely to the government And what does that mean when we give our power away to the government? Socialism. It's turning into that. Mm-hmm. And if you don't think it's turning into that, you need to step back and look at the bigger picture and look at how everything is turning that way.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it's something that we should be very concerned about. Mm-hmm. Just the way that everything is pivoting, and the direction and how it all works. I mean, you have to understand how this all plays out and how this it starts with, it's just like, I always use the analogy of like a thread on a sweater. If you keep pulling at it,
yep,
sooner or later it all comes unraveled, and it just starts with one little thread. And that's how the big problems and change is like slowly inputted into us. So yeah, like that scares me more for my child's future.
Don't wear a mask if you don't want to. Don't support businesses, corporations. When you walk in their store without a mask and they start harassing you, don't ever go back. There is other businesses, and I know you think like, oh, everybody's doing it. They're not. Right. There are businesses out there that know the actual law, by the way. They can get in big trouble. There's a $75,000 fine for discrimination against someone with medical issues. Mm-hmm. And you could throw that back in their face as well. We don't know who are these people that have medical issues that can't wear a mask, because that's changing their oxygen levels.
Yeah. And the only way to know that is if you have a professional medical doctor at the door.
Okay, so unless you hire a doctor to sit at your door and the doctor checks each person before he walks into your business, checks all your vital signs and says you're okay to wear a mask, you are not allowed by law, at least Utah law, not allowed by law to tell them that they have to put a mask on. You guys need to look at your laws, look at your state laws, look at the business owners have to sign a discrimination agreement. This is going against laws. Mandate is not a law.
Like right now, I'd probably struggle with a mask. I'll be honest. Like I kind of had like a little day cold, whatever. That's why I kind of sound funny right now. Mm-hmm. And like if I laugh, I'm like wheezy. It's because I have asthma, and I'm around her cats right now. So it's all a bad combination. I can't breathe. So
exactly.
So like me wearing a mask like right now, but I don't have a card. I've never had like a card to be like, I have asthma.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, and so like those kind of things, like wearing a mask would be uncomfortable if I'm walking around the store or anything like right now. Like I'm healthy, like I'm good.
Well, there's other businesses that, and some don't even put the sign out that masks are mandatory, which are my favorite businesses. But I get it. I get that you're scared, and I get that the government is scaring you into thousands and thousands of dollars of fines. But I want you to know, the agreements that you signed as a business owner, go back and look at those, because you could have a lot bigger lawsuits on hand.
Yeah. A
lot bigger fines. But there are businesses that even put, wear a mask, do your part, whatever, in the window. But do they have to enforce it? Like when you come in and they tell their employees to harass you? No, they don't.
Yeah, some of these businesses are crossing lines with harassment.
It is.
There are some that are like, you just have to understand, like, you can't do half the things that you think that you can, and you don't have to do half the things that you think that you do. Mm-hmm. And you just have to be very, very careful. You have to, like, you don't have to close your doors. You have the right to own and operate your business. And if you do, like, or if you feel like you're being threatened, if the police are trying to give you fines or whatever, close you down, guess what? Sue the state. Mm-hmm. You will win. Mm-hmm. It will not uphold. You can sue the state because it's not a law. It has to be ran through legislation, and it hasn't. What is important to understand, it has nothing to do with, well, why can't you just wear a mask? Just wear it and be a lot easier. This is a talk about freedoms. This is a talk about rights, human rights. And we have to do, like, in past generations, the people were like passionate about the Constitution and making sure that the Constitution was in line at all times. They had pride, like, for the country. They had pride for what we stood for as a country, and I feel like that's lost.
It is.
That is
definitely off balance for sure.
like if you see a flag on the ground and that doesn't disturb you to where you want to go pick it up, like what's wrong with you?
Exactly.
Like what is wrong with you? If you don't have respect for the armed forces, if you don't have respect for the police officers, if you don't have respect for firefighters, paramedics, what is wrong with you? Like stop being so selfish and have some pride and dignity, because we have you have the ability to talk and speak your mind like you do. The reason why you do is because of them, not because of anything else. You don't take a bullet to the head for your freedom. No, someone already did that for you. And if you don't understand that, like, well, it's sad.
And I'm sorry, like for you people that are living in fear because you don't believe in, you're like, I don't really believe that the masks are very logical. They don't really do much, but I'm scared because I'm scared to get fined, or I'm scared that people are going to harass me. Like living in fear, what's the point of living?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd rather have that nobility, that courage, and say, I at least stood up for what I believe in than not to.
Yeah.
You should ask yourself that. Do I have nobility? Do I have courage to actually, if I'm so fed up and I say I hate masks, but then I go put one on and go through the store, that's a coward to me.
Yeah. I've talked to other foreign people and I've talked to them about how they view us, and they just laugh at us. You know why? Because they say that you guys are so lucky you don't even realize it, and yet you complain about the most stupid things. You have the most grandest opportunities to create success in whatever it is that you want. We don't have that opportunity back in our country.
Well, we did.
Yeah, well,
it's being taken away right now
from us.
Yeah,
but like it's those kind of things where like in the younger generation, like, you have to understand, like you have to put your like want to feel good. We're so stuck in this idea that you're supposed to feel good all the time, and that you have to make other people feel good all the time. And I'm not saying to be an undecent human being, but like sometimes that is a confliction of beliefs and morals that you're missing the big picture here. And that's like the conversation with like these whole masks or no masks, is that people are losing that like human ethics and like what we're actually giving up by believing in it, by saying it's okay, you can force me to do whatever I want.
Yeah,
that there's something wrong with that.
Well, I mean, I'd be lying right now if I don't get a little nervous when I walk in a store without a mask. I do. I'm the minority.
Welcome to my life.
Right. I finally get it now.
Yeah.
I'm the minority. Everybody that doesn't know that he's what are you, Korean?
Korean.
Okay. So.
People are like, I get weird looks. I'd be like, that's the story of my life. Everyone always gives me weird. Even Asians give me weird looks. Like, why is that Asian dressed like that?
No, I walk in and I still, even places that I know are safe that have a mask sign in front of their doors, but they don't harass you if you're not wearing a mask. And like, I was in Smith's today, and for some reason I felt like I was looking behind my back, and I thought there was a worker after me, and I just was like, hey, here we go, let's do this. And like, she just walked past me, and I was like, this is sad. This is sad that I have this fear, that I have to be scared of getting harassed when I'm spending money at your business.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, I love Smith's. I think they're doing a great job, by the way. Like, I'm not saying, I'm just telling you like why, like I have this PTSD when I walk in places without masks, because I refuse, I'm doing my part. I refuse to be a sheeple. Yeah. And I'm going to say it. I refuse to be a part of the crowd. I'm going to demand my freedom back. And I went into, this is a couple weeks. This is after the Legacy incident. And by the way, I know that we mentioned the video a couple times. After I got back home from the Legacy, I took my son out of the game. I went on and I did a live, and that's what we were talking about. So when you're like, oh, I got $200,000 or 200,000.
We got no money.
We got, not yet. We got, 200,000 views. I went live on Facebook, and then I also shared it to Instagram, and that's what's like went viral. Well, I went into Costco. This is like a week later. And I know Costco, I've never not worn a mask in Costco. And I have a membership. I've been, a member holder for, I want to say 15 years.
Wow.
Prior, dedicated. I was very dedicated. I used to promote for Costco for.
Is that longer than your marriage?
Yeah. I love Costco. I used to talk about Costco. I'd tag them on all my stories, and they would like it and say, thank you for sharing. very committed to Costco. Like I did majority of my shopping there, and I love that they had organic brands and stuff like that. So I went in and I had my mask in my hand, but I didn't put it on. And so like, I got in and I never put my mask on, and I did all my shopping. I filled my cart, and I was already like in the back of my mind, if I get harassed, I have to willingly give up my membership, because I can't say one thing and do another. That is not my character. And that's how a leader should be. Yeah. That's how our governor should be. That's how other governors should be. And I went in there, and then I was standing in line, and the lady that navigates the line told me to put my mask on. And I said, no, thank you. I don't want to wear it. And then she said, ma'am, you're going to have to wear your mask. And I said, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'll just cancel my membership today. She left me alone, but I think she went and got reinforcement. Another Karen. I don't know her name. She was a little bit taller, blonde hair, short blonde hair. She came over to me. The guy at the checkout stand did not say, anything rude to me. We smiled back and forth, which was so nice. Like he could see my smile, and you can just tell that it just was cool to see someone else's smile. I didn't see his, but because they make him wear a mask. But, we had some good conversation. He scanned all my groceries. I paid for my groceries already. Then the Karen came over, and she's like, ma'am, you're going to have to put your mask on. I said, I'm sorry. I'm leaving. I'm on my way out. I'm going to cancel my membership. I will never shop here again. I will never shop at Costco. This is the Costco in Lehi, Utah. And she's like, sorry, if you want these groceries, you're going to have to put your mask on.
Which is funny because she already bought them.
Right? And I'm like, wait a minute.
Done.
It's these are my groceries. She went over and like basically grabbed the receipt out of the checker's hand and refunded me.
If you're a lawyer, what is the policy? Like if she
is there any lawyers listening? Because I might have a case.
Yeah, doesn't that mean it's like your property?
I don't even know. Well, even back it up a little bit prior to that, I've been a member for like 12 years plus. I didn't sign anything saying I'd wear a mask.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that what is that called when you break the
breaching of contract?
Breaching of contract. So I don't know. We might have to seek legal counsel on this.
Yeah.
So let me know if there's a lawyer listening. Reach out to me and let me know if I have a case. But super frustrating. And then she walked me. So she refunded my groceries, walked me over to their little stand where they do the memberships. Retract my membership, which is fine. I was going to cancel anyways. If I got harassed. And then I left, and come to find out that this has happened to other people. Costco is known for harassing their customers, and I will never, even when and if the mask mandates go away, they have lost this loyal customer. I will never shop there again. They would literally have to reach out and like say, I'm sorry, and like basically kiss my ass for me to think about going back there.
Imagine? We kiss your ass.
Well, I'm sorry. I am going to do my part, and I expect people that feel the same way that I do to do their part and not just talk the talk, but walk the walk. Yeah. I'm so frustrated. We will never get anywhere if you just talk about it and not take action.
So is the surprising part is I'm surprised Costco isn't training their employees on how to treat people.
Right?
That like for me is blowing my mind that a corporate company like that who has such a good reputation.
What used to be wonderful.
Yeah, up to this, you guys have been amazing. And so I'm blown away that the training to your employees on how to handle this has been so poor because you're actually crossing the lines of harassment.
Breach of contract, everything.
There's so many things.
It's not in the shopper's contract to wear masks.
Yeah, and no one has to do it. No one has to listen to a mandate. You don't even have to wear your seatbelt. Is there consequences with the law? Yeah, but that's a law. Your employees, you can tell your employees to wear it because it's company policy. That's totally different. If they want to keep their job, they better wear a mask.
Well, and even real quick, going with the employees that have reached out to me, be like, well, what if my job, mandates me to wear these masks or I get fired? Like, I'm going to be out of a job. I totally understand that. Well, you know what? For me, I would go get another job. I would not work for a company that mistreats people like that.
Yeah.
Go get another job.
If your employees are wearing a mask and masks truly work, nothing should get in, nothing should go out. They're safe.
Right? That would be a logical approach.
Right. So your employees, their protection is your job. It's not my job. It's the employee or customer. It's not my job to make sure that your employees are safe. There's never been that kind of like law.
Mm-hmm.
It's your job. You know, that's why you have like the like protections that you do in your insurance policies, because it's your job. It's your job to protect them. It's your job to protect, you know, and so wearing a mask, I'm confused. Does it work? Does it not work? Does it let things in but nothing out? I also love that you can wear a face shield that like stops at the chin, and like all of a sudden a virus is like, oh, there's a wall.
What? I can't get past that. I can't. What?
Not knowing that like if you breathe in, it can just be circulated up because it's air particles.
Well, and then it's not even like it's just like a covering. Like a majority of places like will accept a bandana over your face. Yeah. Okay, so that's not even medical grade.
Yeah, it's true. Some people are buying like ski masks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to rob your store.
Right? I mean, gosh.
That's what I feel like.
Really? It's a lot easier to rob these stores because your face is all... I'd be more concerned. I'd be more concerned about that if I was a business owner. How about this? How about we do our part? If you truly believe the way I do, the way that Matt and I both do, like, do your part. Take action. We, the people, are supposed to be in control, but we're not. We are literally handing it over to the government, and they are getting richer. They're not getting any paychecks missed, nothing like that. They're making money off of this COVID thing. Wake up and see it. You know, a great thing to watch on YouTube, and I'm going to throw it out there. I don't know if you watched it, Matt, but it's called Fall of Cabal, and Cabal spelt with a C. And there's 10 parts of it, and that will really open your eyes. You know, as an independent filmmaker that made this, combined with a lot of other people that have experienced everything in Hollywood, it really puts a lot of things in perspective. It's been blocked multiple times because, you know, the mainstream media doesn't want it getting out. You know, it's very highly controlled, very censored. It steers you one way of believing something. So Fall of Cabal is great because it gives you the insider view of actually what's going on. And whether you believe some of it or not, I think everybody should at least watch it, because if you're going to argue anything, like, you should look at both sides. So watch Fall of Cabal. It's on YouTube, and there's 10 parts. I think part number 5, you have to go to a certain website because it's too graphic for YouTube. So keep that in mind, but check it out and let me know. I would love for you to message me. I'm on Facebook. It's just Becka Hayes, spelled with, you know, no E, Hays. Becca's Becka. Also on Instagram, Becka Hayes, the same way. And then, you know, you can reach out to Matt. Like, he might be able to get back to you faster. But we would love to know your feedback of that and what you're really feeling, and, you know, how you can help. Reach out to us and we'll let you know.
Yeah. And also, like, if you're watching this and you the whole time all you thought is like, we don't care about human life.
So not true.
Don't do that. Educate yourself more about what that statement is really saying.
Mm-hmm.
Educate yourself more to have a better argument than that, and to understand, like, that's not what we're saying at all.
I got blamed, and I'm just going to throw this out real quick, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but on Facebook, I had made a post about, it was actually a really nice post. I think it was a picture of me in the snow or looking at the trees, and
good picture,
right? I wonder who took that picture. But anyways, and so it was just a nice post, and I think it was a gratitude post even. And a girl that I kind of know, and, you know, I'm kind of best friends with. We have a mutual friend, and, you know, she had a friend, one of her best friends, just recently, like within, like, I think a day, pass away. She says she passed away of COVID. I went and looked at she sent a link. I clicked on the link, and it said that she passed away from a blood clot that went into her heart.
Yeah.
That's what it says. But she claims that it was COVID, which I don't know. I have no clue who's right or wrong or whatever. I just know what I read. And she flat out said, I blame you 100% for her death. Like, that's a bold statement.
That is a bold statement.
But going back, I could have obviously been really upset and, like, literally let her have it on my feed. Mm-hmm. But I have compassion as a human being, and I know that she's hurting, and I will never get anywhere by telling her that she's a piece of shit and how dare you say that to me. I won't ever persuade someone's perspective or get anywhere with that kind of anger. And so all I could say back was, hey, I'm so sorry for your loss. I really am. And I'm sorry you feel that way. I know that you're in like the beginning stages of grieving.
Yep.
And I understand. And I do understand because my sister passed away at a young age, and she was the one I was closest to. She died of cancer.
Yeah.
So I know how it is to lose a loved one. And so, and you know, that's good advice for anybody to never fight back, like, you know, with angry intentions. Like, just always be compassionate and kind, and like, they're going to accept it or not, or maybe later down the road, they'll understand that you treated them well at least, and maybe they're finally willing to listen to you.
I agree. That's it.
That being said,
please, you guys, like, we love your feedback.
We do.
Just keep it, like, you don't have to be a dick about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's simple as that. We're not, this whole conversation, we've tried to keep it to where we aren't doing that. We're just sharing, like,
our experiences,
where we're
our
at,
beliefs,
with everything going on. So, but if anything, leave us a review. We'd love to hear. We'd love to hear your review on our podcast, and subscribe, because we got a lot of fun content coming.
Yeah. Listen, okay, when you subscribe on YouTube, it's actually really fun because we're doing some funny videos. So it's not just all podcasts. Obviously, we're going to post all our podcasts to YouTube, but we have some funny. I bought a cat suit. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. No, give me the upbeat one. Shit. Give me that one. Okay. Good. Anyways, I bought a cat suit. So we have some fun things planned. So it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be lighthearted. Obviously, this was a heavier, deeper subject, but we're never going to like sweep anything under the rug. We're always going to be 100% genuine, 100% raw.
At all.
Yeah, he doesn't clean, apparently. Managers don't clean, whatever. But yeah, this is going to be very raw, and we're just going to tell you really how we feel, and nothing's going to be censored. We're not going to be bought. I mean, how much? There's a price for everything.
There is a price for everything.
They're just kidding. But anyways, so yeah, please hit subscribe on YouTube. We would love to have followers, and yeah.
We'll catch you on the next episode.
Till then.